survived pilots coming forward over the weekend saying they've had multiple mid-air encounters with high-flying, fast-moving objects.
New reporting this morning on unidentified flying objects in our airspace. The New York Times speaking with 5 Navy pilots who've all said they've encountered UFOs during training missions up and down the East Coast. The pilots even noting that the objects were accelerating to hypersonic speed, making sudden stops and instantaneous turns, something beyond the physical limits of a human crew.
Clearly, this is nothing that we're used to seeing out there. We submitted a safety report saying that there was an unidentified object in our working space. We don't know what to do.
This on the eve of a new History Channel series called Unidentified, Inside America's UFO Investigation.
The object then appears to accelerate rapidly.
The show chronicles a year-long investigation that includes former military intelligence officials speaking out on numerous reported encounters.
We trust the American people to know that there are certain countries that have nuclear warheads, and yet we don't trust the American people to know that there's something in our airspace that we don't know what it is.
Overnight, the Navy telling us that in recent years, there's been a number of reports of unauthorized and/or unidentified aircraft in our airspace, and therefore, they've implemented new steps to report further possible incidents.
My gosh.
An unidentified flying object.
Look at that thing, dude.
Spotted by 2 Navy fighter pilots flying high above the clouds.
Look at that thing. It's rotating.
These newly released videos from the Department of Defense, published by the New York Times and Washington Post, part of a once secret government program to investigate sightings of so-called anomalous aerial vehicles in the skies. According to reports in the Washington Post and New York Times, the Department of Defense has spent at least $22 million since 2007 looking into UFO sightings. Former Nevada Senator Harry Reid, who helped secure the funding for the program, telling the New York Times, "I think it's one of the good things I did in my congressional service. I've done something that no one has done before." And now, the Pentagon officially acknowledging its Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program for the first time. Telling ABC News they ended the program in 2012 in favor of other higher priority issues that merited funding, but that the DoD takes seriously all threats and potential threats to our people, our assets, and our mission, and takes action whenever credible information is developed.
Some breaking and potentially explosive news today, which is that the UFOs Commission, basically within the Pentagon, will be giving some findings and reportings to the Senate Intelligence Committee. This unit is inside the Office of Naval Intelligence. Now, Senator Marco Rubio saying that it's important for the public in order to find out more. But the real bombshell here is actually an interview in the New York Times by a man named Eric Davis. He's an astrophysicist who worked on the subcontractor and a consultant for that program since 2007. Now, Mr. Davis had this to say. He now works for Aerospace Corporation. He said he gave a classified briefing to the Defense Department agency as recently as March about retrievals from, quote, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. So,
what?
There you go.
That is crazy.
He said he gave classified briefings on retrieval of these unexplained objects to staff members of the Senate Armed Services Committee on October 21st, 2019, and to staff members of the Senate Intelligence Committee 2 days later. So we are going to need to see the transcript of those documents, and I'm going to call for Marco Rubio in order to release all of that.
We need full transparency here.
Yeah,
the people need to know.
Absolute full transparency. But this is a bombshell accusation. And as far as I can understand, this is the first revelation about the most recent testimony given to the Senate Intelligence Committee regarding this matter ever since the story was broken open in the Times back in 2017.
Well, you know, and Senator Reid, who was one of former Senator Harry Reid, of course, has been one of the sort of primary movers and shakers on bringing some of this stuff to light. And he very much is of the belief that there have been off-world vehicles here.
He actually gave this quote again to the Times here. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some substantive, some not so substantive. There were actual materials that the government and private sector had in their possession. This is in reference to the crashes of objects of unknown origin, which may have occurred, and materials which have been studied, some of which could be off-world. So there we go, folks.
We will definitely keep you updated on this one.
On July 3rd, the head of MUFON, Jan Harzan, was arrested in Huntington Beach, California for allegedly trying to lure a 13-year-old girl into sexual acts. However, it was a covert operation by the local police force, which led to Harzan's arrest. For almost 2 weeks, from what we know, Harzan kept silent and working his duties as executive director of the world's largest UFO network. Yesterday, Harzan's arrest became public news, causing a stir in all of ufology. Last night, during this show, he was removed from his duties, effective immediately by MUFON's board of directors.
This footage, shot on March 26, 2020, shows what appears to be 3 craft-like objects flying across the surface of the moon. Some suspect it may be debris from a comet that hit the moon's surface and got caught up in its gravitational field. What do you think?
Look at this.
All those years in the big city, we finally got out. We're living the dream.
Maybe it is a dream.
Then everything just blew up. Big flash, like a pink light. Or actually, I don't even know what color it was. It wasn't like any color I'd ever seen before.
Looks like a meteorite. You think it's radioactive? I mean, it's from space, right? Meteorites are generally no more dangerous than ordinary rocks.
How can something that big just disappear? Did you plant those?
No.
Ward, you come here for a sec.
Oh, God.
What are you doing? Shh. It's talking to me. Who's talking to you? A man in the well.
It's in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, is out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just the color. But it burns.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore. Everything's gonna be A-okay.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one.